Welcome to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I am your hardcore host, Rickhead, and then we got a full house tonight. First, I'd love to welcome back the lovely Vicious Vixen, Zoe Nightshade. Zoe, how we doing, hon?
Doing good. Happy to be back.
All right, and then over from the Skeldon Realms, he's a Lord Skeldon himself, Joseph Knight. Joe, what's going on?
Yeah, that's come back. Oh, wait, that's me. I'm doing good. We got a lot to talk about. I'm cracking my knuckles. I got my beverage to clear my throat. Not my mind, but my throat. And I guarantee it's going to be a hell of a fun night.
Yeah, Joe, well, clearing your mind is that's an effort in itself, and I don't think we'd have enough time for the podcast to do just that. And at last, and certainly not least, he's the incomparable Lance Moss over at Lance Moss TV. Lance, what's shaking?
Not too much, and that it's a good thing it's the end. The holidays have ended because the lull in wrestling news has also ended.
Yeah, no shit. It was kind of dry for a couple of weeks there. Before I get to the news, did you guys check out that Dominic Mysterio video that he posted about how he's doing hard time?
What is he, the big boss man?
Yeah. Well, oh no, he was putting a toothpick in his mouth, so now I guess he's trying to be the bad guy.
He's the bad guy.
Yeah.
I be damn.
What? What? I didn't say
Not
you didn't
you.
say no.
No,
Just
not, for once, not you.
Oh, okay.
I watched it.
And jabroni and that bullshit.
Yeah, he's
Let's
stuck.
brought up. It's Joe at SkullandStream.com.
Just for shits and giggles, we'll throw that one out there. But yeah, it was like he was doing hard time. He was in prison for a week. Joe, how is that fucking hard time? Please help me.
Jeez. And let's say if that was it, he probably, that's all a setup, so we know he was actually at home. They just did a picture like, oh yeah, he was spitting. Let me tell you, that boy was really in prison. He would they'd be raping his ass. Oh, come here, stay here, little Mysterio boy.
Maybe that's what he meant by hard time.
Yeah. Yeah, and Lord knows Dominic has a baby face, so he'll be on his knees a lot.
Oh, did you see a little teardrop tattoo on his right eye or over by his left eye?
What is? Who did that? Who did that? Undertaker did that one time. What the fuck? If he's not the bad guy, Ramon, he is the Undertaker.
Well, you should have came back with like a whole tattoo on the half side of his face. You know, that would have been a little bit, more believable.
Yeah,
but
goddamn people, I swear.
All right, guys, you know what? We're going to get over to the topics now. Seth Rollins apparently injured his knee this past Monday on Raw against Austin Theory when he was facing him for the U.S. Championship. After the match, Rollins struggled to get out of the ring area, and at one point, he fell to the ground and needed help getting back up. So it looks like Rollins may have injured the same knee that he did back in 2015. On Tuesday, Rollins posted the following tweet: redesign, rebuild, reclaim. Now, what makes this tweet so interesting, it's the same tweet Rollins posted when he injured his knee back in 2015. Joe, your thoughts?
Well, copy and paste does wonders, doesn't it? No, you don't need an original thought. You know, everybody's getting injured. And it's because they don't have time to slow down and literally take a break. So honestly, him twerking his knee or anything like that, first of all, it's going to get the man upset. And I'm not talking Triple H. I'm talking about his wife, Becky. So, honestly, if he's injured, I think he needs to take time off. I think he does need to get, healed up better because wrestling takes a lot of toll on your body. So he needs that time off. And I think if we miss Seth Rollins for a little bit, I think it's great because, like I said, sometimes absence makes the heart founder. In this case, the more we forget about, the freaking Rollins, I think it's better when he comes back, he can be refreshed and ready to go.
Absolutely, Joe. And that's a strong point because we talked about how many number one contenders or how few number one contenders are there for Roman Reigns for the title. And, he had his shot at Roman, but now if he gets on, if he goes out on injuries, out for a couple of months, he can come back. He could be that new guy that might get that shot. Lance, your thoughts on the situation?
Well, it sucks when anybody gets hurt, but you know what? This might be a blessing in disguise. He'll get to have a couple of months to spend a lot of quality time with his kid.
And that's another great, thing. Looking at the brighter side of things, so to speak. Zoe, final thoughts.
Oh man, I hate that for him if he's injured. That really sucks. Uh, like Lance said, he gets to go home and be a dad. And it's just right whenever Becky comes back from injury too. Seth gets injured now. That sucks.
Well, with that in mind, you have to wonder if one's essentially getting injured and the other, like alternate time. So it's like, all right, I got to go, spend time with the kid. All right, I'll come back in 15 months now. Beck, you need to injure yourself so you can go spend time with the kid. All right, that would probably go a little too far, but
Yeah.
All right.
What? Yeah, wait. You think that's gonna go far?
Yeah, I know the night is early, Joe.
Yes, okay.
Speaking of injuries, AJ Styles was also injured last Thursday at a house event during a 6-man tag match, which was the AJ and Luke Ellis and Kyle Anderson, and they were taking on Judgment Day. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio. AJ did an over-the-top rope spot, and that's apparently where he got injured. The referee instantly threw up the X sign and also needed help out to the back. On Saturday, Styles did confirm that he did break his ankle, but did not need surgery, thankfully. Zoe, you know what happens? Like injuries, such as like a broken ankle or broken foot, if you need to get surgery, that's a huge, it takes a lot more time as opposed to just breaking it and just getting it reset.
It does. It takes so much more time to heal, and then you have to think about they're gonna have to retrain and everything, get that ring rust off of them. That really, really sucks because Seth and AJ are like two of the main workhorses of WWE, and they're both out injured.
Yeah, again, Joe, your thoughts on this?
And AJ Styles, wow. Here's a guy who's literally like Kayla just said, Zoe just said, they're the workhorses. And to
The main
lose not
workhorse
only Seth but now
is
AJ, and I know how a broken ankle feels. I've had my ankle broken, and it was doing a wrestling show, so I know how it sucks badly. So, and you're going to be out for a while. Um, for him to be out, that kind of not only breaks down the OC storyline with Judgment Day, but it also kind of puts Judgment Day out in the loop because they're not going to have any opponents. So sure, they could go with Gallows and Anderson, but AJ's the main. He's the main guy, and out of everybody in that company, and I don't care who it is, I'll tell it like it is. There's no harder worker in the WWE right now that has still the passion, that still love of the sport, is AJ Styles. And everywhere he's gone, he's done the same thing. He has passion for the business. To lose him right now, you're stuck with, Kevin Owens, who's blah, Cody, who's blah, until he really comes back and does something. Your rosters now of contenders, top contenders, are looking very, very slim, Rick.
And I think we talked about this problems, many, many times how WWE only sees to push only 2 or 3 guys or 4 guys, maybe at most, and the rest just kind of, fall by the sidelines. Lance, your thoughts?
Well, again, I hate to hear somebody get injured, especially like that. This is going to make, because like he even said, this is probably going to be the longest time he's been away from the ring in his career. Which I'm kind of taking as meaning earliest we're going to see him back, SummerSlam. Latest, next year's Rumble. Which that also makes, with all these injuries, the end of the month's going to be really fucking interesting. how are they going to pull that off?
Yeah. Well, again, with Styles, it's only 6 to 8 weeks, so will most likely miss the Rumble, but it's possible that he get there, get a match for WrestleMania, a high-ranking match. Not likely, but maybe he can get on the card somewhere somehow.
Well, you got to look at another thing too. It's also the severity of the ankle. If he's got torn ligaments, if he has like any bone chipping in there, the ankle's just like any part of the body in sports, like your neck, your shoulder blades, your patella, and your knees. The ankle is something you cannot fool around with. If you come back too early, you're going to risk of re-injuring it severely. If you if you decide that you're going to come back and do high spots, you're going to injure it even more. So I think AJ, who's been really the most active individual on the roster, from lowly fighting the lowly jobbers to all the way up to whatever storyline, he's gonna have to look at literally taking. He needs that time off. He needs to get in there, and he needs to really not only heal his ankle, but kind of relax, revive himself, kind of be ready to come back. At least that's my opinion.
All right. Let's move along. Canadian station RDS announced on Friday that AEW will be canceling on their show. Apparently, the Canadian station has financial problems and had to cut other shows, including all NHL coverage. Announcer Gene Francesco, if I'm pronouncing that, forgive me, made the following statement. It's been exactly 25 years since I've been in RDS. The decision, that I can't understand, by management was to cut a deal with AEW show is the hardest one for me to take. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us tonight and for the past few weeks. Sadly, Dynamite's tonight will be our last broadcast of AEW in the French on RDS due to budget constraints. Unfortunately, we won't be back in 2023. Now, when I first read the highlight about how AEW was being canceled, I thought maybe they might have been getting some hot water with some networks due to that guy, dropping the F-bomb a couple of weeks back. But apparently, it just seems to be the station. Joe, now AEW is still very popular, and despite they may lose it with this RDS channel, it doesn't mean that some other network over in Canada can pick that up.
Yeah, and at least it wasn't AEW's fault. It wasn't a money issue. It wasn't anything on their part. It was just the station losing money on their own. That's for saying a lot. We're gonna go in there. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna stretch you, But basically, it's good for the AEW in a sense because it wasn't dumb. When the news broke out, I thought to myself, "Oh man, they can't pay their bills because they're spending on bringing in stupid people that they shouldn't be." Hi guys, I'm back, which they should never spend a dime on her, unless for a blowjob. But at least this is a positive thing for them. It's not that they suffer from this. They can get another Canadian company to host them. And hell, everybody's got internet and YouTube. They can still see Dark Elevation. With streaming services, they can still see AEW somewhere. So, but AEW needs another solid station to back them, and I think that's right now. It's a blessing for them. If the station was the one that couldn't afford to keep them, at least they're being open and honest about it. So honestly, I think that's a good thing for them. Now they can branch out and look for some better client.
All right, Zoe, what's your take on this?
Well, whenever I first heard it, I thought, oh Lord, MJF really pissed somebody off. But I mean, personally, AEW might want to consider getting their own streaming service. I know I, for one, would cancel Peacock, stop watching WWE, and start watching AEW on a streaming service.
Well, we were talking about that last week about because how Tony Khan is launching the Ring of Honor called the ROH Club. And it's supposed to have their weekly show, which they never had a chance to do, and they're also going to be doing the pay-per-views and such. Um, and there was talk that Tony Khan would like to do it at some point, but I think right now, with all the pay-per-view spies being on a high and still getting a lot of viewerships on TV for Dynamite, I don't think he's going to do that just yet. Lance, over to you.
Well, long story short, Tony, start talking to some Canadian cable companies because y'all are in trouble.
I guess that's the best way to say it. Short but sweet. All right. Moving along. According to a Fightful Select, Mercedes Varnado could possibly be Saraya's mystery tag team partner for next week's Dynamite. Varnado made her NW New Japan Pro Wrestling debut at Stardom 17. Varnado also stated that she is looking to take Curry's IWGP Women's Championship. Now, I personally do not want to see her to go, although a lot of the news sites are saying it's already happened, she's booked. Lance, help me with this, please.
That's Joe at SkullandRoom.com.
Okay, that's not exactly what I meant, but all right.
He's just building it up for me, Rick. Don't worry. But go ahead, Lance. Finish up.
Well, I saw her intro, the video that got online. She botched her finish, and she needs to fire her hairdresser. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, what the fuck did you do? I mean, it was like weird, almost like a leopard skin pattern. It was like insane.
It looks like, have y'all ever seen copper when it has a lot of corrosion on it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or food that's been left in the refrigerator for way too long.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Zoe, over to you. Let me talk. Mercedes Varnado coming to AEW. Is this needed?
No. No, it's not needed. It's a waste of money.
Yeah.
That's just how I see it. I can't. I'm trying to be good. Trying to be a good person.
Well, because we have Joe here, so
Joe, it's us. Why try to be good?
Joe?
Yeah, you can't let me be the one with the fun and get us blacklisted. Please go ahead.
I don't see the point in it. The girl is nothing but a waste of time. She's a waste of space. She's a waste of energy. She makes my head hurt. Okay. And I don't have a very big head. So that does a lot. I want to strangle her. I physically want to injure this person.
Yeah, I can understand that. I got some technical issues here. I thought I had a picture of her, and I guess I don't. Oh well, fuck it.
You don't need it.
Don't put that up there. Don't kill people.
Don't scare the rest of the audience. That's my job.
Well, Joe, since we're talking about you, why don't we? I mean, what is Tony Khan really thinking about? I mean, I understand he's trying to get bigger stars to get, but this is like WWE 2, 0.20.
This is, this fucking mark. Let's get it off the line. Let's put it for the way it fucking is. This fucking mark it's going out of his way to get this botching banking piece of shit that has nothing to offer a wrestling company. I do not give a shit who kisses her ass. I don't give a damn who says, oh, she's a good worker. I don't give a damn. She is a good worker. I'm not going to deny that. When she's not fucking botching. Let's put this shit in perspective. The dumb bitch, it's overrated. She's is an egotistic maniac. She hanged out with the right people, Triple H. She's not even worth the fucking money. And this is what gets me, all right? The fucking roster. I hope somebody in AEW listens to this shit. Because if the roster, and I hear the women's roster are happy that she's coming in, They're joyful. Well, first of all, if you're happy that this fucking over egotistical, overrated, underperforming, money hog piece of shit is coming to your company, then you all have serious mental issues. Because first of all, if you're depending on this fucking bitch to lift your and it's nothing personal. This is business. All right. I don't know fucking the Botchin Banks personally. She could be a very nice person. Fuck her anyway. So fuck her anyway. And I'm sure a lot of the locker room have fucked her thing.
Yeah.
So remember the other guy from the last show, the motherfucker? This is the sister fucker. So you bring this, everybody's happy they bring her in. No, she's going to eat up your money. She's going to take all your titles. She's not going to give anybody a chance to do shit. She's going to steal the light, steal everything. She's going to take more time for herself than anything else. And I wish these people in AEW in the locker room would fucking wake up and say, we don't want Saraya. We don't want the Botchin Banks. We don't want all these former WWE people unless they're jobbing to us and elevating us. The only former WWE person in that entire fucking company who actually cares about the talent is Chris Jericho. God, thank God they have him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody else is a fucking waste of time and money. So, you know what she could do? She can go fuck herself. New Japan is, I bet you, they paid her so much money, Rick, for her to come in, botch a move, and try to build up to something later. And in fact, she even charged him because she was in Japan 2 weeks early. It's well documented. She was wasting hotel money, and then she had Bailey there, WWE's Bailey. Not that she's joined New Japan, but as I'm supporting my friend.
Well, you know who else was there is Naomi.
Yes, and she's another stupid slut that should.
Oh Jesus!
She should go with her Usos, and she should maybe do a threesome with the threesome with the Usos. They can call it a sandwich. Their real name is Fatu. She could be the meat in their Fatu sandwich.
Oh Jesus!
You know.
Oh God!
So and she could probably get pulled over.
Boss, we're still here.
So far, so good.
We're fucking good, but no, I'm gonna end it real quick. They should not bring this dumb bitch, especially her money hogging ways. She offers nothing. She gives nothing. She's a hog for money. She's egotistical. Everything that's bad in professional wrestling, says Sasha the Botchin Banks. There we go. Yep. Thank you. Fuck you, Sasha Banks, and fuck you, Saraya. Hard.
All right, Lance. I'm sorry.
Plunger.
Did you get a word on this, Lance?
Huh?
I don't even know if you got to talk about this one.
Basically, ask Saraya how safe Mercedes is.
Yeah, I'd like to see a rematch between those two, right? I think Saraya would only want to work with it as a tag team partner. That would make sense. It's like, hey, at least you're not breaking my neck.
Again.
Hey, imagine if she does get her neck broken. She could go back to the same third-rate hospital and says, I'm back.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I hate when she was like, oh my God, that should be her new catchphrase. Because she did that in the WWE too, when she, both times.
When she came in as a GM. And she said, I'm back.
Yeah, I could not stand
and the way she does her lips, it's like, please insert cock here. And if you see her, and then she has all that slutty makeup. It's like I fucking took a shotgun, filled it with fucking makeup, aimed it at her face, and fired. That's what it looks like. Boom, like a cartoon.
All right, we're gonna all right, nice Joe. Okay, we're gonna cancel the rant here.
All right.
Time.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on to other things right now. Now, as many of you know, right now, CM Punk is still at odds with the AEW and is still out with a torn pectoral muscle. Now, apparently, Tony Khan has put the ball in Punk's court and see if he wanted to make the return or not. But according to Dave Meltzer, there are a lot of wrestlers in the back, specifically Chris Jericho, that does not want Punk to come back. Last November, Chris Jericho told Punk right to his face that he was a cancer to the locker room and a detriment to the company. Now that's one thing I like about Chris Jericho. He won't talk behind your back. He'll tell you right to your face. But still, I think what Jericho said, Lance, is pretty much, said it right on the, hit it right there,
Hit
said
the
what he had
nail
to
on the
say.
head.
Hit the nail on the head. Thank you. Okay, fine. Don't mind me. I haven't smoked weed yet.
That's true, but are we sure this actually happened? Because if Dave Meltzer said it, there's a 90% chance it's complete bullshit.
All right, fair enough. But let's say hypothetically, if he did say that, I mean, with this, do you think he was trying to just push Punk out the door?
Possibly.
All right. Joe, now obviously Lance had a fair point that Meltzer does have a tendency of kind of like pushing his own bullshit. But let's say hypothetically, if if Jericho did confront Punk in that manner.
I would not doubt that Chris Jericho literally did that and said that. Now, again, Lance is 100% correct. Meltzer has this thing of spreading a little bit the truth. If he was Pinocchio, his nose would have gone around the world several times already. So, honestly, I think in this scenario, I believe, Jericho willing to do this because Jericho is passionate for AEW. He is passionate for the talent. Like I said earlier, he's the only guy in that locker room that's a name who goes in there, cares for the talent, and is willing to elevate them because he knows for a fact they're the future. His time is coming down. While he looks still great and he could try stuff, you could tell at times he's getting a little winded. So he doesn't care. He'll elevate. And we've seen Punk. We've seen how he acts. We've seen how he cares. We've seen how he does things. I said it. I said it even on this broadcast many times. Punk is a good needle mover when he isn't causing controversy. He can when his music pops in next to like Chris Jericho. When Judas plays, we all listen and you hear people screaming it and singing it. It's the same with Punk. But this time Punk lets his ego get the better of him and he's not for help company, he's help self. So honestly, they don't need him right now. He was a come and gone. He's like a one-time AEW World Champion. Hey, you got a belt in another company. Bravo. Move on.
Well, you know what, Zoe, Joe does have a good point, but he not only made another title, he's made more money. So now it looks like he's trying to stay until either Khan buys out his contract, or maybe Punk just says fuck this and walks out, and that's it.
I'm just hoping he says and walk out. Honestly, to tell you the truth, even if Chris Jericho didn't say it, I still agree with Chris Jericho. CM Punk is a cancer to the business. Honestly, I want him to go to New Japan so they can shoot on him in a match.
Actually, the only one person in AEW at least who's like strongly supports Punk is FTR's Dax Harwood. He's actually pushed it on Twitter. He said it on his podcast that he really wants Punk to kind of like reconcile things with the Elite, and but apparently he's not interested. And I don't think the Elite is interested. They didn't really say anything, but they didn't jump on the horn about it either. So
how much did Punk pay him to say that?
No, I think honestly that Dax is a true CM Punk mark. He's been a fan for him for years.
Punk ain't nothing more than what his name is. Punk.
You know what? Over in the YouTube channel, Terry finally pops in. He says, "Evening all. Got distracted watching something else. Well, put the porn down. Pay attention to us. We're more important." He says, "Rick, you hit the nail on the head when it comes to Punk." And he says, "Punk as a wrestler is done. As a mouthpiece, still have some value." We never talked about that.
Well, I think that was never really in question. When it comes to Punk on the mic, absolutely. Would I like to see him do commentating? I don't think he would drop himself to that, at least not in wrestling. I'm sure he would do it in MMA or whatever, but I would love to see him do a podcast. I think him and Jim Cornette would be, perfect.
Him and Rob would be perfect.
Say again, Zoe?
Him and Ryback would be perfect.
You know
Just
what?
saying.
Fuck you, fuck no, fuck you, fuck you, no, fuck you.
Actually, speaking of Ryback, WWE.
See, Zoe, look what you did.
Damn it,
Now we got to
Zoe.
bring Ryback in here.
Well, it's
I
all
did
right.
thought-
It's okay. There's a little side note that apparently Ryback was able to copyright the Ryback name for because WWE is like, fuck it, we're not bringing him back. We don't need it. He's not doing nothing important. Nobody else wants him, which I found was fun, hilarious. So, but moving on. Looks like that. John Cena is booked to face Logan Paul at WrestleMania 39. Cena wrestled this past Friday on SmackDown in a tag team match with Kevin Owens against the Bloodlines, Zayn and Roman Reigns. Now, guys, I don't know what to make. I really don't know what to make of this. Logan Paul first had a highlight match, a couple of months ago at the Clash of the Castle against that was Survivor Series against Roman Reigns. Obviously, he didn't win, but now he's going against John Cena. Joe, help me out here.
Yeah, I would like to get helped out the door because just having Cena there taking on Logan Paul, god damn it. Is there no one that they can elevate in this company? They have to elevate him. He's not bad, but he's not good either. He's still got a long way to go. This guy should never been in the main roster. He should have been still in NXT like everybody else. That's what gets me out of WWE because he's an internet sensation. They have to let's forego NXT and let's put you here. So I personally I don't get it. Why do this? Why go through all this nonsense with this guy? And then they bring back Cena just to put him, and it's going to happen. He's going to be put over. Cena's going to shake his hand, and they're going to say thank you, and Cena's probably going to start moving on to back to movies or TV shows or whatever he wants to do with himself. It's I don't see it. I don't see why. This now WrestleMania has gotten to the point that it is like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go home. That's how it looks like right now. It's like I don't see this thing being now WrestleMania with this match at it. It's not looking good for the rest of us.
Well, again, keep in mind there's 2 nights of WrestleMania now, and unfortunately that's never going away, which honestly is painful. And that's just somebody who just watches it for $5 on fucking Peacock. Now I have to address the number one John Cena fan in the room, Lance. I'm sure you're gonna be happy to see John Cena back.
Well. They put John Boy in a match with a dude that basically his knee blew up in the Saudi show. Long story short, I just found my piss break for that night.
Well, for night 1 or 2, they haven't really set up the full card.
Whatever it is, that's going to be my piss break.
All right. Zoe, over to you.
You know what? I'm thinking I'm going to try out for WWE. And the reason I say that is because they're letting all these new people who ain't been there for long get all these big matches against all these big names like Ronda Rousey, Logan Paul. Maybe if I join it, I can go up against Charlotte Flair and actually win a title.
Yes, you'll cinch it. You'll cinch the hold in and not let go. Like, all right, bitch.
I probably would. But my point is why are you letting all these newbies come in here, pass up the entire daggone line of people who has literally gave blood, sweat, tears, broken bones for the company for God knows how long? I don't understand it. And as far as John Cena coming back, go back to Hollywood. Just stay there. Just stay.
All right, over in our YouTube chat room, Terry says, Cena versus Paul. Geesh. Might as well have Ric Flair wrestle Ricky Steamboat again. You know what? I'm sorry, Terry. I probably would enjoy that one.
That would probably be a better match, even at their advanced ages.
Yeah, Logan Paul looks a bit like Adam Page in that picture. Actually, I don't see it, but okay.
You know, Rick, if I may, I have, yes. They said Zoe to WWE. Yes. That's from Terry. You know how it's easy to win a match with Charlotte Flair, Zoe? Hit her and Mr. Winky, and that will stop the fucking match.
I was getting ready to say, I'll just kick her in the gonads.
Yeah, there you go. And say, how do you feel now, Reed?
Well, since
Now,
we're now on,
Rick, I don't want to cut you off, but I gotta say this. It's been bothering me since yesterday, and Lord knows I wanted to flip out. And I flipped out with my booker. I flipped out, and this is because of one thing. If you guys catch AEW Dark, that's my favorite show out of AEW because it gets to highlight different independent workers. Okay, everybody follow me on this? It sounds good?
Yep.
Okay. They had a fucking indie worker in a match on AEW Dark named fucking Cheeseburger.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Jesus. Well, you know what? That's why they put those wrestlers on Dark. But okay.
No, it doesn't matter. People still see it, you know. This is where I fucking go ballistic. Cheeseburger. He's a fat motherfucker who you're given the opportunity. Back in the day, somebody will look at you and say, "What's your name?" Cheeseburger. No, you're not going out that way.
Yeah.
You're Bobby Beef or something like that, but you're no Cheeseburger. What's your manager's name? Fucking Mayor McCheese. Your partner's Bob is
French fry?
Big Mac, and you're the Beef Brothers.
Well,
Zoe, you are in the business today. If a person came up to you, and of course this moron is going to go up. They don't think wrestling names anymore. Obviously, you can think of a hot fucking internet gaming name, but you can't fucking think of a wrestling name. You know, obviously, if this person came up to your company and now he's going to ask for more money, obviously, because I'm in AEW Dark now. Cheeseburger, yay. If this person came up to you and says, "Hi, I'm Cheeseburger," what the hell, Zoe?
Well, actually, there was one show where a guy came up to me and introduced himself as Gummy Bear. I just looked at him and I walked away. Because I couldn't do it. And then where I was seated at in the locker room was directly across from that guy. I looked at him and I said, "Please, for the love of God, tell me that you're still green, that you're a greenhorn." And he said, "Yes." "Oh, thank you, God. Because if you were somebody that's been doing this for 10 years and your name was Gummy Bear, I'd probably quit independent wrestling altogether."
Cheeseburger. You know, that's I guess that's one of the reasons why, you know, AEW should have some creative control and kind of step in and at least give their name and say, "Okay, you know what, you're not Cheeseburger tonight, you know."
Yeah,
we'll do.
And you know what's funny? That used to be the format of anybody in wrestling. You know, WWF, not EF, and even WWE when they hire indie guys, they look at you and says, "What's your name? Cheeseburger?" "No, motherfucker, you're no cheeseburger."
Well,
it just burns me.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick. Did Cheeseburger win or did he lose?
Oh, of course he lost because he was part of. But it's not the point. The point is you got the opportunity, even if it's internet. Everybody looks at the internet. Okay, he's probably have 50 of his friends, his family says, "Oh, look, guys, I'm an internet sensation. I'm Cheeseburger, yay!" And obviously, everybody was going to go look at that, and I could see where this leads to. He's going to go up to people, and if let's say if he had an ounce of fucking skill, and he came up to my company and said, "Hi, I'm Cheeseburger. Want to hire me? I've been in AEW." I'll be looking at him like, "Dude, get the fuck away from me before I beat you with a baseball bat. Go fucking think of a better name. Go fucking think of a fucking better gimmick."
That's in New Jersey coming out of him, folks.
Yeah, no, New York.
New York. Oh, gee, even worse.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Yes, that's my New York shit. I'm from New York City, so thank you, fuck you, everybody. But the point is, where in wrestling did we go by? Did we lose the ravishing Rick Rudes, the Bret Harts, the Mr. Wonderfuls, the Raging Bulls,
Jake the
Manny
Snake.
Fernandez, Jake the Snake Roberts, Cheeseburger.
I
What
know.
the flying fuck, people?
I know. All right. Believe me. Yeah. Once you said Cheeseburger, I'm like, you gotta be kidding. No wonder he's on dark. But with that, let's move along to Miss Charlotte Flair, who made a
Do we
shocking
have to?
return. Unfortunately,
No!
There was a you can hear. You know what I love about our crew? You can hear when Rick says something like, "Okay, now let's move on to Charlotte Flair." There was a group groan at the same time. I love you guys.
All right. So Charlotte Flair made a shocking return this past Friday on SmackDown and defeated Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Flair is now a 14-time WWE Women's Champion. Obviously, Rousey is in line for a rematch, but the question is, when is she going to get a rematch? Because she's not going to be getting a WrestleMania, and because whoever wins the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble that is going to get that shot. So, Joe, that kind of leaves Ronda Rousey out to dry, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely. What gets me is they bring it's this is must be in a contract. They must have this on a contract. Okay, guess what? I'm willing to come back, but I'm winning that belt right now. Bottom line, nothing else. Boom. Okay, yeah, sure, we'll have you so you don't go someplace else. Ronda did it. We saw other people do it prior to even them, and now Charlotte again doing it. I hate that. It's like not proving yourself coming back. Do a couple of regular matches, my God. You know, and then build it up. This is like Goldberg coming out of nowhere, beating Hogan for the world title. Okay, yeah, he had a great streak building up, but wouldn't it have been better the story continue before you actually do it? Obviously Sasha had. I mean Sasha. Looking at the botching banks, Charlotte, because they all fit in this category, except for Reed has a winky. You know, she comes in, has that guaranteed contract, and it's like, I want the belt. Boom, they give it to her, and that's it. Move on. Well, and probably Ronda didn't have any problems with it because she makes money anyway. So it's not like she needs a lot of money. So I can see this, but honestly, Rick, out of everybody in your locker room, Shotzi, you've got what? Rachel, whatever her fuck name is. You have other people that are up and coming, and you couldn't pass the belt to them. I know the failed Liv Morgan experiment was fucking horrible, and Mandy Moore is making more money from porn or showing boobs than being in the ring. But anybody could have been better to take that belt. Why? Because they want to build it as she's close to her father's reigns now. I see 14 times.
That's correct. 14. So, and keep in mind, she's probably still very young. She's still at the height of her career. So, it's no shock if she's going to surpass that championship, the number of championships. Lance, over to you. Your thoughts on Charlotte not only returning, but getting a shot and winning the title for the 14th time.
Why? Why? Just why? Yeah, I get Triple H is a Ric Flair mark, but 16 ain't the real number any damn way. It's 21, but still, what? Make her fucking earn it, man. Damn.
For a minute, Lance, he sounded like Squidward when he was lying on the floor in a fetal position going, future.
Well, you know what, guys? All joking aside, I actually am a fan of Charlotte Flair. I know that she's a good worker. When she first came in, I was speculative because I'm like, oh great, here comes another Flair, and she's gonna ride his coattails. But you know what? It took a while before it she eventually made it into her own. And hold on, Terry 3G said, it's getting old wrestlers coming back and winning the titles back instantly. And you know what, Terry? That's a very good point. She should have, like Joe said, she should have earned it. Had a few good matches. Maybe make it for the Rumble, but who knows? Maybe Rousey and Charlotte will have a rematch at the Rumble. With WWE's craziness, you never know. Zoe, final thoughts.
Sorry, I was banging my head against the wall the minute you said Charlotte Flair.
Nice.
Good God. That means that we're going to have to go through like another year, maybe over a year, of A, either Charlotte having the title, or B, it's going back and forth between Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. And I'm just so glad that I don't get SmackDown so I don't have to sit and watch that.
Yeah, well, I guess that's one little miracle of life you have. So, all right, moving along. Lana is not only looking to go back to WWE, but she's also willing to shut down her Brand Army account, which is very similar to Mandy Rose's very racy content website. However, Perry stated that she would shut down an account if she got another shot to the WWE. This is what she had to say, and I quote, I'm a big believer of saying yes. I'm blessed to have this opportunity, but I would always return to wrestling. If WWE were to call me tomorrow and be like, we want you back, it's not about the money. I would like to shut down this site and go back to WWE because it's one of the greatest franchises in the world. Life is not just about money. It's about what you love. And there's nothing more in the world that I love than wrestling. If the opportunity was right for me to return and tell you company stories, burn the house down, I'll come back and do it for free. Joe, who would come back and wrestle for free? Is she just trying to oversell it, or is she,
Oh, yeah. While you were saying that, I'm doing the hand stroking motion. It's like, all right, either you seriously need money, go to do like Mandy did and make yourself $1 million, because Lord knows she could make $1 million, but she's not great in the ring, so that's going to impede that return there. Now, by saying that, you sound such like a desperate slut. It's like I want to come back. Please let me come back. And it sounds so bad. Okay, it sounds so bad. You know, God, like, oh, this wrestling is my life. Well, obviously you have not talked to Mandy then. You know, you haven't talked to anybody else about enhancing their product themselves. I'm not saying they all should be in porn or they all should do this, but there is something better to do than going back to a company that's going to underutilize you, that made you look like a retard when you were there. You have your ravishing Russian gimmick obviously went out the window. So no, she should go. She should, if you want to go to wrestling, say, I'm Lana. Let me wrestle for New Japan. Let me wrestle for an indie company. Pay me this amount, and I guarantee what WWE is going to pay her a year, she can make that double. So she's obviously an idiot who doesn't honestly think straight. She should, if you're that desperate to come back to the WWE, then obviously nobody else wants her, because she could have gone to Ring of Honor now. She could have gone to AEW. Hell, you can go to Impact. You know, and I guarantee you one of those companies will pay her very well. If they're paying for fucking Soraya and Botch and Banks, then they should not have another problem with Lana.
Well, honestly, let's be let's be fair for a minute. Now, I understand how much you don't care for Soraya or Botch and Banks, as you call her, but Lana never won a title. At least I don't remember her winning any titles in the WWE. She never, was it a main event? She was
No.
she was eye candy that wrestled occasionally.
And if you remember, she did have that little push where she was. They just basically fed her to Nia Jax, and it was ridiculous. It was the most ridiculous thing you can ever see because they made her look bad. And I didn't she quit WWE because they made her look bad?
I
You
know
know,
that Nia Jax left. I'm not sure if that was the exact reason.
no. I'm talking about Lana here. I'm sure Lana left because they weren't doing it, and she would complain about it. I bet you if we do our own Twitter files, we probably come up and says WWE has been mistreating me.
Okay, Lance, Wikipedia time. So,
Yes.
I'm
um,
looking it up.
I thought she just got released
that's what I
during
thought.
the
I thought
budget cuts.
that's what I thought. I thought she was released
She
from
Right.
was
Miro.
re- she
Uh,
But
was released on June 2nd of 2021.
thank you, Zoe.
Okay. Now, but here's the thing. Obviously, everybody knows her as Lana. So even if AEW didn't want her, or Ring of Honor, like Tony Khan didn't want her, or New Japan didn't want her, Joe, as you said, there's plenty of indie wrestling companies that would take it. Zoe, let me ask you. Let's say if you saw a wrestler like Lana who wanted to join the show, do you think your promoter would also take her just for the credit buys?
I don't think that he would because he's not really about that. He's about keeping wrestling true and real to everybody out there who actually believes it's real. I mean, with Lana, Nia Jax isn't there no more, so there's really no reason for Lana to be back in WWE. There's nobody put her through a table. WWE embarrassed Lana. They made her appear weak. They did the same thing to Cody Rhodes with the Stardust gimmick. They humiliated her. Why would you want to go back to a company that made you look like a weak person, made you cry on cue, humiliate you, especially go back for free? Are you kidding me? Are you really that daggone dumb? I mean, how stupid is that? Work a bunch of indie shows, get your training up, work it for a fair price, have them pay you a fair amount. I mean, I'm, I'm speechless about it. I just do not get where she's coming from with that. And then her sitting there saying, I'll do it for free. I'll shut down this, and that, and I'll go back to WWE for free if they'll have me. Not only did WWE make you look weak, you just made yourself look weak.
That's Zoe at whatever Gmail she has. Praise Zoe for speaking the truth.
Lance, over to you. Final word.
Well, okay. The shutting down the thing, if she gets re-signed, that kind of makes sense because, well, you're trading one paycheck for another. Okay, but going back for free, there's a term for that. It's called acting like a fucking mark.
Yeah, I guess that would be the perfect way to explain it, wouldn't it, guys?
Now, honestly, the place I thought she was going to come back or move to, honestly, I thought we were going to see her in AEW just managing Miro.
I agree. That's what I thought.
That's what she needs to do. She worked really well as a heel manager.
Yeah.
Stick with what you know. Stick with what you are good at.
Yeah. And
on Rick, real quick, over on the YouTube chat, Terry said, yes, she asked for her release, I believe, though.
So, okay.
I think she did ask for her release because of how they were treating her.
Exactly. So this tells me that she's desperate. So obviously, for some reason or another, Tony Khan is not interested in any shape or form. I don't think Japan would take her. So if she really wants to wrestle, if she's that passionate about wrestling, then go wrestle in the indies. There are plenty of indie marks that will take her. Oh, wait, you are Lana? Okay, fine, But you got to use the Russian accent, Of course, you'd roll her eyes, but for a fucking quick paycheck, why not? And not to mention, she probably wouldn't have to shut down her that account. That's giving her some kind of revenue. So, all right, guys. We have more information on Naomi. There was word that she had joined her over in Japan for the for Stardom, and but it looked like maybe she was signing, but appears that now she's going heading back to the WWE. That's what the latest rumors are suggesting. Um, Bailey was, of course, with over at New Japan to support Sasha Banks, but it appears that I don't know, Joe. Do you think? I believe that Naomi should be going back to WWE. If not, why not?
You know, there is a rumor that she's supposed to be heading back, and I think more because of her husband wants her back in there. You know, when you look at a spouse or somebody who's also in the wrestling business and they go someplace else, it's so hard to get back, together. It's like they're on a different schedule than you. You barely see each other, so I wouldn't be surprised he wants to bring her back. You know, and she is a commodity. She knows she's got moves and all that. She just always letting other people do the getting her into a situation that she shouldn't be in.
Mm-hmm.
That's her problem. Not because of anything else. If she follows people, and she gets into trouble that way. Honestly, if she would just be be herself and get in there and support, like be a part of the bloodline, you know, they need that female antagonist. And she being already married to the Usos, so makes sense. She could, Naomi Uso or whatever they want to call her. And she pledges herself to the bloodline. This is where, I like Naomi. I think she's a good talent. They underutilized her. They she follows the wrong people, and she's very gullible to being, told, "Oh, come with me, we'll do it." That's what happened with her and Sasha Banks. That's why she got let go in the first place. So, Rick, best bet she will be in WWE in some form of capacity, but I bet you she's gonna job out a little bit before they bring her into the bloodline. And who knows how long the bloodline's gonna be, you know. Terry says, hell, CJ Lana will be an upgrade over Eva Marie, who's also looking to try to come back. Rick,
Oh, God.
God, she's coming back. This is like the fourth time she's left, something like that. Let's say maybe three times, but I know that she came back and left and came back and left. So right now she's doing her clothesline. I think that's where she's staying. No pun intended, the wrestling move. But Zoe, what do you think about Naomi and what's going on with her?
I mean, with Naomi, she is a follower. She sides with people. She's not an independent woman. I mean, there's been times that I've went to a show and everybody knows that I am Johnny Swade's manager. I'm his partner. There has been times that Johnny Swade has been sick or couldn't work, couldn't get to a show. What did Kayla do? Kayla hit up that promoter and said, "Hey, he's not going to be there, but I still want to work. Can I please do something? Can we set up a storyline? Can we set up a tag team match where whenever Swade comes back, these two can tag together and it'll make sense?" You go that extra mile. Whenever Sasha Banks stood there and pitched her little hissy fit in that office, instead of standing there nodding her head and being quiet, Naomi should have said, "Well, if she doesn't want to do it, find me a partner. I'll still do it." That's just how I feel about it. And by following Sasha Banks, where has that gotten you now? It's gotten you absolutely nowhere.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, we know that Sasha obviously was the one who was more frustrated, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Naomi had her own personal issues. For her reason to drop the title. I don't think she would just do it just to follow. I think she would have a little bit more behind that. Lance, your thoughts?
Well, and from what I understood, the original thing was they were tag champs, and Naomi was supposed to go over in like a 6-woman tag or a 6-woman match to be like a number one contender or some shit. And then that whole shit went down. So she kind of fucked herself. But honestly, Naomi, good work and everything. and to follow her, but her money is probably in the WWE. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? Again, no disrespect to Naomi. I don't want to see her over to AEW. I don't want to see another ex-WWE wrestler jump in because there's still a lot of great talent that's starting to be overlooked because, we have all the other wrestlers from WWE that are taking the spotlight. And I'm not just talking about the female. I'm also talking about the male wrestlers. But we are going to move on to our final topic of the night. WWE announced that they will finally be moving to 677 Washington Boulevard in downtown, and that's in Connecticut. That'll be as early as the end of the first quarter. WWE originally planned on making the move back in 2021, but COVID caused the development to stall. Now, that's kind of why when I first read the article, I'm like, these guys just moved like 3 years ago. And apparently this was a place they planned on moving. So that's where I kind of got a little got confused on the issue. Joe, what's your thought about WWE moving?
Well, you got to keep ahead of the IRS. If they can't find you, then they can't tax you.
Yes, because I'm sure that's exactly how WWE's avoiding the tax man.
Yeah. Oh well, no, they're probably doing other things too. But in all seriousness,
Vince is not there, so.
Yeah, in all seriousness, I think they just moved. They want to probably get a bigger location, and by looking at the picture, they looks like they have enough huge space on the top floor. That could be part of their studio where they do vignettes, where they do merchandise commercials and all that. If you look at production today, I'll use a great example, The Mandalorian. They have just a big room that is all a big monitor. It's a big giant green screen monitor, and they could project stuff on it instead of the old fashioned way of building sets. They can do that nowadays. Add a little prop here and there, and you're saving yourself tons of money. Like when I do a stream and I want to change the background, you just throw in the green screen, put the background, and boom, you're done. I think that's what it was for, and maybe being in the same building for so long, they want to upgrade. I also, Rick, I think this is the thing here. I think they want to do a change from the Vince McMahon era. They want to bring it into a new era and show, look, we're in a new building, we're new in this. Plus, if we want to commit suicide, it's higher.
All right, Zoe, what's your thoughts on WWE moving?
They're not moving to evade the tax people. They're moving to evade Vince. That way he doesn't come back.
Yeah, that's right. They're trying to hide from Vince.
Exactly. As far as them moving, doing an upgrade, I mean, every company's got to do an upgrade at some point. Should have upgraded it a long time ago. So good for them.
All right, Lance, over to you.
Well, since Vince still owns the company, he's probably just trying to get rid of evidence.
Yeah, that's another point. I'm sure they want to get rid of scrub out all that DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's stuff probably in that old building in the basement somewhere, and let's get out of here before somebody actually investigates Vince.
Again.
No kidding. Well, guys, that's going to wrap up this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I want to thank Terry 3G for hanging out with us. He also hangs out with us in our HWR chat room in the group section on Facebook. If you like this video, please give it a like and hit the subscribe button. I also want to give a quick shout out to our good friends, Mr. and Mrs. A over at BC Games and More, who have a live gaming stream every Monday at 9:30. They play a lot of old rare wrestling, rare sport, old rare games. Thank you, Joe. They do trivia, give out gifts, and much, much more. Again, BC Games and More. Joe, you're over to Skeldon Realms. Take it away.
All right, everybody, check me out. Just do the hashtag Skeldon's Realm. I am on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I do games from yesterday, today, from retro to current, PC to console. Just check me out. Go to skeldonsrealm.live. You can also check out, that'll be where I have my merchandise shirts as well. And you can also find the great crew here, all their shirts, the Zoe Nightshade, Lance Moss TV shirts, and Rick Head shirts. So make sure you go check that out. And Terry says Vince moving to hide the women he was with. So they probably all go into that old building and says, "Hello, Vinnie Pooh."
We're sorry, we didn't mean to sue you. All right, Zoe, what's going on for you?
Nothing's really going on right now. I haven't heard when our next show is going to be. Hopefully, it's going to be soon. You can check me out on Zoe Nightshade on Facebook. Also, head over to Traditional Southern Wrestling on Facebook. Check out the guys and gals there. They keep it professional and family friendly.
Unlike here at HWR. Lance, you got Lance Moss TV. I know that you have your Lance Moss TV and friends, but what do you got cooking in the Redneck Gourmet?
Nothing right now, because like I keep saying, the price of food to make those videos right now is too damn high.
All right, so I guess you're just still doing that Lance Moss TV friends?
Right, every Tuesday night it's 7:05 Central, 8:05 Eastern.
All right, and there you have it. So, for the Hardcore Crew, I'm your hardcore host, Rickhead, saying, we'll see you when we see you.
For the shirt!